Scientifically, this is about the bat sonar, which is way deep, but in the simplest form, I want you all to share in this message here what they do to people in the medical field.
Which could make it difficult to do our jobs when we get back to Earth, or even land on Mars. On Earth, our heart and blood vessels are well adapted to work against the downward pull of gravity. In space, however, there's a tendency for blood and other bodily fluids to accumulate in the upper body. Let's take a look at one of the consequences of this fluid shift.
We have recently identified that some astronauts experience changes in their vision, which might be related to the cardiovascular system. Our hearts pump blood around our body through blood vessels. Special adaptations in our bodies ensure that fluid is evenly distributed despite the pull of gravity. In space, astronauts no longer experience the downward pull of gravity, and the fluid in their bodies tends to move towards the upper body and the head. Our cranium is a rigid container. As the fluid moves towards the head, it causes the pressure inside the skull to rise. This is known as increased intracranial pressure. The optic nerve travels from the brain to the eye. The increased pressure from the cranium travels down the nerve and affects the eye. It causes the optic nerve to be squeezed, and the optic disc, where the optic nerve meets the eye, to swell. The back of the eyeball flattens as pressure builds behind it, and the blood vessels in the back of the eyeball also swell. These changes can affect the astronaut's vision. One change is that the astronauts become farsighted. The second change is that they can develop cotton wool spots, which represent damage of the nerve fibers in the back of the eye. These can cause discrete areas of vision loss. NASA is working to understand and prevent these changes in astronauts, which may also help us understand and prevent related vision changes here on Earth.
Yeah, they tell us that that is a cataract most of the time when you do white stuff on your eyes. Okay, what I see is the problem being with pressure from the back of the head on the optic nerve. They explained that. So to me was that the pressure from society that they wasn't telling them about. They were telling them go on, go, 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 go. So if today when you slow down, they're telling us take your time, relax, meditate. We see that all this going for the money, think you have money and all that, it's nothing but an illusion, it's a game. And we know that when they crash the stock market, a lot of older people get cataracts and are under a lot of pressure. A lot of those people live through the depression, child labor, of course slavery, we don't have to mention that because that's prevalent, that's what built this country. But as far as Caucasians, to add them to the story, you see all the wars that they've gone through, all the experiments on people, that has put a lot of older people under a lot of pressure during their lives growing up. So the pressure from that has caused a lot of cataracts to become a part of people's lives, and they've come up with this machine to so-called cut it out when that's not even the issue. Okay, so again, man, the child labor laws, women's rights, wars, crashing stock markets, all these things that imaginative illusion that these other people created is causing these problems. So you can see again, this is a major issue here, and NASA knows about it. So who's bringing you the deal, who's not?